Welcome to the New World Compendium, your source of information here in Eternum and your entertainment while you wait in the eternal queues of this game. I'm your host Arkaniir Silvershield, and I'm joined by the real-life woodworker and crafter and the master tech himself, Stormzlord. How's it going, Storms?
It's going great, man. How's it going with you, Ark?
Going good, you know, waiting in queue because I disconnected with a weird error. So it worked out for recording the show. Otherwise, I don't know how I would have kept myself from playing in the background. But here we are. The game did that for me. So how about you? What are you up to?
Well, I'm shutting down Discord, shutting down everything, but I am not shutting down the game.
Yeah.
I will never get back in today if I shut down the game.
Yeah, the first weekend of New World, and honestly, I was kind of expecting everything to blow up harder than, I guess a lot of
Just
the
the
fixes.
queues?
Yeah, a lot of the fixes and maintenances throughout the week sort of paid off in the sense that the weekend is sort of stable with the game.
Yeah. Did you notice they're doing, they've been doing updates throughout the week, right?
Yeah. I mean, if we count... So, remember how Sivian asked us how many patches we expected? Well, there has been 0 patches.
No,
However, there's been
patches.
so many maintenances.
There actually has been patches.
There has been?
But it's a difference between having to update Steam and not having to update Steam.
Oh, yeah.
The way that works. Because if you notice, there's a little bit different behavior at times. Specifically, I've noticed a couple things in the compass that didn't happen before.
Oh.
I don't know how they've been achieving that, or maybe they just turned it on or whatever, but it was interesting.
Well, here's the thing. Remember how in closed beta, the dead trees completely disappeared from the game across the servers without a patch. So I am thinking a lot of these things are server side, like their existence depends on the server or something along those lines. Like,
absolutely. If you notice, a lot of the stuff is that way. When honestly, I'm still having some network issues with my laptop, right? So it'll get good, net, and then it'll disappear, and then go back, disappear. But what you notice is, everything comes in slower, but when stuff comes in, certain things are background and certain things are in the client or at the server level. So certain things come in faster or later, and it's not everything in the background, it's not everything in the foreground, it's a balance. So they're doing a lot on the server side, more than I anticipated. It's pretty interesting, I thought.
I mean, I guess it makes sense that Amazon is putting a lot of the things on the server side than usual, but man, those servers, yeah. So, to give an outline as to what we are going to be talking about today before we get into it in detail, so New World launched on September 28th, last Tuesday, and we did a pre-launch episode with the details and everything like that. We talked about what we are expecting the queues to be like, but man, I don't think anyone saw. Yeah, I don't think anyone saw this level of chaos coming at all. This was something else.
I think they did a good job of adding more worlds, like the next day, right? Or was it 2 days later? They had 28 more North American servers, right?
Yeah.
Now the issue was you couldn't transfer your character you had already started.
Yep.
That's what they should have had too. The ability to transfer their character you started on that super busy world to one less busy.
So what happened, for anyone who is out of the loop somehow, is we had a certain amount of numbers, like the total number of servers with about 2,000 people per world was able to support something like 200 to 300,000 concurrent players. The problem started when there was about 700,000 people trying to play the game all at the same time. So the queue times went up insanely. There were hours of queues and thousands of people, like more, almost double or triple the number of people waiting in queues than are actually playing the game in the servers. And obviously people were very, very upset. And I imagine the entire game studio went up in flames with everyone, working on solutions and things like that. And they did start working on some solutions like adding new worlds, starting to work on increasing the server capacity, or rather world population, from like 2,000 to whatever amount they are planning.
They're trying to get to 4,000.
That I'm interested about how that's going to play.
Well, because to me, if you get all 4,000 on the server, maybe they'll be more spread out, in the levels. But in the first day when I was able to get in, right, there was just so many people doing the first level quests. You'd kill a wolf, kill a boar, and there's like 30 people trying to scale it.
And they still increased like the respawn rates and everything for those quest objective animals. It just still wasn't enough. And some of them I think they forgot, because some of the quests still required you to like skin a boss creature, which spawned every 5 or 10 minutes or something like that. So they did forget some of them, but it was better than the betas for sure. And the game, I don't know how it was on the NA side, but the actual game stability after you actually manage to log into the game, even though, there's been server issues in regards to the total population, but the game was a lot more stable than how it was in closed beta. It's running smoothly, and I'm loving it. Like, I'm getting weird errors every now and then that disconnects me from the game, but that might just be my internet as well. Who knows? It's possible.
So you're breaking up, Ark? I'm not sure if it's me or you. Just, you might be breaking up.
Oh, like right now on the show?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I'm not sure if it's me or you, but
it could be this tool that we are using.
Could be.
Is it still the same?
It's just like old scratchy, static. Sometimes. Not
hold on, let me try. How is it now for you? Is it still the same?
No, that sounds better.
Okay, yeah, we are gonna go with it. That probably was my audio engine again. The stream probably didn't even hear it because I forgot to switch it for the tool we are using.
All right.
Yeah.
Then we'll just pretend I didn't hear it.
Yeah, well, we'll edit this out or leave it in as a, I don't know, like a blooper part on the show. We'll see.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, whatever they did after the closed beta, delaying the game an extra month and everything like that definitely worked out. That definitely worked out. The game's been smooth. There's a lot less bugs. Some of the bugs from beta are still there, but they're like minor things, mainly UI bugs.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Yeah, they're on the list, right? I'm sure their list is just insanely long of what bugs they have. But I'm sure they're using DevOps development. So if it's on the server side, they're going to move it continually, right?
Yeah.
And the client, you may have to do some updates, but so far, like you said earlier, a lot of them have been server side, so it's worked out pretty well.
So yeah, I mean, they once they balance the load of player base, some of them will fade away by its own anyway. I mean, and this is the launch week. Everyone trying to get in at the same time, taking time off work, and trying to like not disconnect at all times because there are queue times.
Oh, no kidding,
I mean,
right?
Yeah. I just
somebody like who in the guild wrote a script, and I was amazed. If the mouse doesn't move for 18 minutes, it moves the mouse.
Oh,
so the game thinks it's there.
Is that even?
I'm like,
that might be against TOS even. I mean,
that might be. I didn't take the time to do it, but somebody did. I'm like, all I do is I took a day off, and then another day I sort of like would come for lunch and then run downstairs and move the mouse and run back up.
So the first day I took off work. Yeah, I took off work on launch day, and I thought I could sneak in a shower before I get disconnected from the server. I was wrong. I got disconnected right before prime time, Oh my, that was a mistake. That was a big mistake.
Yeah, so yeah, my showers are not that long, but yeah, no, I definitely could just run downstairs, move it, get back in. Now, yesterday I disconnected because my wife and I are playing on a less populated world because she's still learning. So, but it's fun. It's a great game.
I mean, see, my next solution will be just getting a wireless mouse and like taping it to my cat. So while she's running, that can't be against TOS either because it's not a script or anything. It's just my cat
and then
playing.
Just put it on put your guy in the city, and more than likely you're not going to run out the door.
Yeah. Just let my cat play. She deserves to game on this amazing world as well.
Right. That would do it. Yeah. You're good. You're fine.
But yeah, basically, so with numbers, there's been over 700,000 concurrent players on Steam, although about 300,000 to 400,000 of those people, according to third-party applications, by the way, according to like New World server status or something like that, about 400,000 of those people were in queues, so I wouldn't count them as concurrent players per se.
Yeah, I've seen the concurrent for the actual server, not through Steam, right? There's another site that does the server, not the queues. And the server, the concurrent was 588 at one time that were not in queues. But yeah, if you're looking just at Steam, you don't know the difference.
Yeah.
It's I can't remember what it's New World server status or something. They have some phenomenal information. I'll put that link below, but it's pretty awesome. You can look it up. You can look up a world and say, well, do I want to try to log in or not?
Yeah. And like it's a great sign that there is this big a hype around this game because that means this is going to stay long term. It's not going to die out like in a month or two. Game. This is a definitely long-term game because, I mean, we are talking launch day, probably over 1 million players trying to log in launch day. Just only 700,000 of them at the same time. But if you spread that out, that's probably over 1 million. So it's good numbers.
It's amazing numbers for a game.
Yeah. It meant that a lot of people didn't really get to play, but that's a fault on Amazon. Like they should have kind of seen this coming and I don't know, started with another 100 or something servers to begin with. But I don't know what, there may have been a lot of different reasons.
Right? You got to make a balanced call on opening day. What's it going to be, right? Is it going to be that many people? Do it have many servers? Because while it's still Amazon, it's not free, right? Yeah. They're going to be cross-charging to different departments and blah, 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 right? So whoever's running game studios is probably like, well, we got to balance the cost versus this, right? That's the way it works.
I just think it just seems like a matter of they really did not realize how much people were hyped about this.
They did not. They did not at all.
Yeah. It was pretty obvious too. I don't know.
Right. It's doing fantastic. This is definitely going to last. People complain and that's fine. They complain about littlest thing, but to me, this is a phenomenal game.
Yeah, the time I had in the game has been absolutely fantastic. And like whenever I'm in the queue, I just go, I don't know, prepare some food, take a shower, do some chores maybe, just keep checking the game every now and then. And once I'm there, like 100 people.
Worked on the chair,
Yeah, exactly, yeah. I got the.
That's why my wood shop is right next to it, so I can just walk over there, do some work on some stuff, then come back, check the queue.
Yeah, I mean, you just level your real life woodworking skills, and then go back into the game and level your in-game woodworking skills. That's how it works.
Yeah, work on them both.
So one thing I've been doing, shout out to Dobbs Gamer on Twitter for bringing this to my attention. You can install Steam Link on your phone, right? And what Steam Link does is it basically connects to your PC, or rather your Steam at home. So say you're at work, you are going to get off work in like an hour or two. You can just launch up Steam Link, which I'm not going to do now because I don't know how that's going to affect my internet and the stream. You can launch up Steam Link get yourself in the queue and get it start getting it counting.
Oh wow, I had not thought about that. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, or you can even actually play now because the game is not optimized for consoles. The inputs are like you wouldn't be able to get into much combat. But I did a lot of wood chopping and gathering and whatnot from Steam Link on my phone because it gives you like it gives you a virtual joystick. It gives you as many keys as you want, like left mouse button, right mouse button.
Interesting.
What else? Like the QRF for your skills. So you get all of those things. It's just not optimized for it, so combat would be finicky. But if you just want to move around, chop trees, gather some stuff on your phone, it definitely works. And see, it probably would change on different devices, but so I just got this Samsung S20 FE, something like that. So it's a new battery, but keeping that in mind, that Steam Link thing, while I'm playing New World from the phone, uses about 5% battery life every 30-ish minutes maybe, so it's not super draining the battery out. It's like watching a video mostly, because that's what it does. It just broadcasts the video, so that's, basically if you are stuck at work and stuff,
to be running, right? And
you have to leave your PC on and your Steam on, and it basically launches the game on your PC and broadcasts the video and input back and forth. That's what it does. And it's free, so it's a nice.
I realize now my wife's going to learn this. She's going to be, crafting and cooking in New World while we're driving.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah,
she's going to log in and do that.
Yeah. So there has been a few messages and plans regarding the launch and how it went and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna touch some of them. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Actually, I'm gonna read the whole thing because they typed this down. Might as well. Greetings, adventurers. It's been an incredible week of growth for the New World community. The demand we have seen has been staggering, and we continue to be humbled by the number of players that want to explore Eternum together. While it was certainly our aspiration to welcome massive numbers of players into the game during launch week, we were frankly surprised by just how many adventurers washed up on Eternum's shores. Over 1 million players entered New World on launch day. Each day after launch, that number has increased, translating into long queue times for some of our more popular worlds. To be honest, all of them. Some of them were just impossible to get into, but all of them had a queue. Since our launch on Tuesday, we have more than doubled the number of servers, and we are working to increase the capacity of all available servers to support a higher population cap. Our team has been working around the clock to add as many servers as we can and will continue to do so until we stabilize wait times. And they've been doing that. There's actually empty worlds now that you can get into and play just without worrying about the queue. It's just that people have started leveling their characters and whatnot, so...
Yeah, if you could transfer it, that would be the best.
Which you will be able to, actually.
Mm-hmm. I heard that too.
Within the next 2 weeks, they are going to be allowing you to transfer your characters to a different server with your progress and everything saved at no cost. Now, when we talked about global name locks, like names being globally locked across all servers, I was like, okay, this is a thing they are going to be selling, right? Server transfer, pay whatever amount, transfer your character. But with the sort of chaos of this, or rather, failure at allocating enough server capacity for the number of players, they are doing that now for free. And it's good and bad at the same time, in my opinion. So as Spankinator in chat just mentioned, free server transfer is going to throw it into a mess. It's good that they're offering it. It's bad because a lot of people looked at servers and saw, which streamers playing where, which community is going to which server, and made plans. Mm-hmm. So now those plans are gonna get all thrown out the window, basically. No one's gonna know who they're playing with anymore, because everyone's just gonna transfer their characters violently across empty servers and stuff. So weird.
And honestly, I'm okay with that. I really am. having some of these large, and they've got to be streamer guilds, right? That have not only one city but two cities, right? Two settlements. It's like, come on, right?
Well, the
You have
thing
to take over the
is,
entire world.
yeah, but the thing is, now, say we deliberately try to avoid streamer servers for our EU community, EU company, and we still ended up with a big streamer, by the way, that we didn't know about. And the thing is, you don't know, like, say you selected select a completely empty server for this. After this transfer thing, one of those streamer guilds that you avoided might just pop into your server. So it's gonna be tricky.
Yeah, that's
it's gonna
true.
be tricky. So yeah, there is more to the message. I don't know. Actually, I just started talking about the server transfer, but they are it's the next paragraph. While we do that work, there are options to get into the game quickly. If you're a player logging in for the first time, 40% of our live servers have low or no wait times. We encourage you to seek those servers out and get playing. We are also working hard on a feature that will allow you to transfer your characters to a different server. So if you choose one now just to get up and playing, you can make a different choice later to play on a server with your friends. Our goal is to release this feature next week. This was posted last week, so once we have truly tested and are sure it's ready, prior to its release, we will provide detailed information on how the transfer process works. We know how important it is to be able to play with friends, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. So they are working on it, and it's a good strategy to, for example, my brother just downloaded the game. He cannot create a character in my server right now. So he'll have to, like, start. Yeah, he'll have to start on an empty server and just pop into Alastor, basically, which is our current server, once this transfer thing becomes available. So there's also, as I said, the inability to create characters now on certain servers. They basically disabled new character creation on a lot of servers to prevent it from...
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they say something like character creation temporarily disabled on the server to prevent overpopulation, and you just can't create a character there anymore. And I think it makes sense. Like, it's
yeah, it does.
Just force people to go into the emptier servers to disperse the load, basically. It's gonna upset some people because they won't be able to play with their friends or whatever, but it is what it is. I mean, it's yeah.
Yeah, but until you can transfer, right?
Just gotta be patient, really. Just, like, wait until it goes
That's
through.
a word. Come on. Who's gonna be patient? Come on.
I mean, I am patient, but I guess, yeah, it's for a lot of gamers or players of today, they don't like patience.
Yeah, let's talk about having to grow up, right? But that's okay.
I mean, it's their right to be frustrated, honestly. It's not like I don't want to defend.
It is absolutely right.
I don't want to defend Amazon blatantly, like, oh, but they made a mistake. It is what it is.
Yeah. They are underestimated by far.
They are trying to make it work. They are trying to make it better. It doesn't mean that they didn't botch up the server capacity of side of launch. Everything else has been smooth. It's just that, the queue times are insane. So it's definitely okay to be frustrated, but at this point, there's literally nothing we can do except wait. Literally and figuratively, because waiting is what we do in queues anyway.
Right.
So yeah, that's the status of the launch so far. It's been less than a week. There are now empty servers that you can definitely play with less queues. But if you went for one of those streamer servers, just give up. You're not gonna get in. Just give up. It's like I saw a server with 21,000 people in line. Like,
yeah,
what?
It's like, you might as well just go to bed, wake up tomorrow, and do it.
Yeah, how did people think that was a good idea? People were like, okay, Asmongold is playing in this server, I'm gonna go there. Asmongold alone has 7,000 people probably logging in or trying to log in. Like,
right.
the server has only 2,000 people.
Server?
Why would you try to go there? That's not gonna work.
No kidding, right?
Oh man, but yeah. So basically, the current status is position in queue 490. That's my current status. I got disconnected just before we started recording earlier, and yeah, I think me going live and everything or trying out this tool messed up my network connection. I get an error that said you are not authorized to play, and then got disconnected. I'm like, what just happened? Did I get banned?
What did I do?
Yeah, my theory is when I launched OBS Ninja, which is what we are using right now to record the show, I don't know, maybe it saw that as like a cheat, like it's something in the network, like an unrecognized network interference. I don't know, maybe just the cheat engine of the game triggered and like, nope, whatever you are doing, I don't like this, so I'm gonna disconnect you.
There you go. I don't like it. You're disconnected. You're banned. You're out. You're gone.
So some comments from chat. Zad says, the amount of Karen's tattletelling on people for AFK proofing makes me mad. Is tattletelling mean sort of like snitching on them?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, see,
you're snitching.
It's understandable though, Zod, because if you're waiting in the queue for 1,500 people and there are a lot of people on the server who are just avoiding being disconnected while being idle for like 5 hours. I don't know.
I would never do. I'm sorry. All the
Look,
time.
I just told you, Steam Link. Steam Link is how you can just like from afar queue up and stay in the game, even chop trees and everything. So I'm not against it, but I can understand people. Yeah,
it's Steam.
I can understand people being upset about people doing that while they are waiting in the queue, because it is frustrating as hell. Like, you get home from work, right? All day, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna play some New World. I get home, boom, 2,000 queue, and I'm like, man.
Yeah. This'll go away. Things like this go in a couple weeks, right? It's just some game this popular. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. Spanx also said, only the factions that are suffering the most will most likely transfer to the other worlds. Will just make the situation worse on the original worlds. Yeah, that's gonna throw out the balance. Like, I mean, we might switch our servers on our EU company once the server transfer thing sort of goes through. And we see like who goes where, what happens to the server, and just before like the time period or the window is closed, we'll make a decision. Like, okay, we'll be like, okay, everyone rush to this server, but that's risky too, because you gotta give people a notice. They might not be able to jump onto their PC. I don't know how to handle this. It's yeah.
And does the company owner have to jump first, right? There's a whole what happens to do you have to automatically leave the company first? And there's a lot that's got to be figured out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really happy with our server's current situation, although some folks are not, because so the streamer that popped into the server that we didn't know about is Marauder, and man, they are rushing. They already have 4 zones or something under their command. And then another big company sort of countered them from Syndicate side with like 3 zones. And then there's us Covenants with only 1 zone at the bottom in like Cutlass Keys, and we are just trying to hold on, basically.
Well, that's because you chose Covenant, but then, sorry.
Yeah, to be honest though, I am glad. I wanted Marauders, and I'm so glad we didn't go Marauders, because it would have been boring as hell to be part of Marauders right now. They are unchallenged. Well, they are kind of getting challenged now, but for the first few, like, what's the point? There's no fun in controlling the entire server, right? You want some challenge, at least for me. You want a tri-faction balance.
Those big servers, you're gonna have somebody control an entire server. And maybe that's what they want. Maybe they're happy then, they're good. To me, honestly, it's almost like living in a country now. I don't really care who rules, just balance the taxes, right? Make sure the taxes aren't too much, and we're good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I love. See, that's another thing that I love. When someone captures a zone and makes the taxes like all high and everything, the entire server just declares them the enemy, and I love it. Everyone's like, "Yep, this is going. We are not defending this. You know, screw this." They stop doing PvP quests there to let somebody else take over. Like, throw the system. Yes.
Yeah, and that's what that's what will happen. Taxes get too high, people are gonna go, wait a minute, right?
Yeah,
This is just stupid. So they're gonna have to do that, and then that's part of the whole. I know what I'm doing. I can run these taxes up. I'll make it off the taxes. Well, people are gonna turn you into Nottingham. They're gonna really make you the bad guy.
Yeah.
They don't want to pay taxes.
It was that easy in real life. Like, taxes go so high, you're like, I'm not doing any PvP missions.
Yeah, I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not going to work. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm done with this. I'm just gonna chop some trees.
Yeah, that's it. I'm good. I don't need to do this anymore.
So Sivian says, "Hey gents, our server appears to be very well balanced with each faction owning roughly the same amount of territories. 2-3 each faction. We have already been in 2 wars, lost the first and won the second." Oh my, that's good activity, to be honest.
Yeah, it is pretty balanced.
Yeah, and for joining, so Sivian is our co-host who couldn't make it today, and he is the governor of our North American company, which you can find. Yeah, you can find at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com/company.na. And for the EU side, where I am, you can find the Discord for that in dungeoncrawlernetwork.com/company.eu, which will redirect to the respective Discord links. We are on Alastor on EU. What server were you guys in? Loloi, I think?
Loloi, yep.
Loloi, yeah. There you go. So if you are in there, NA side is Syndicate, EU side is Covenant. So if you want to play together with us, you can definitely check those links and servers out. Then again, that might change next week when server transfers happen. So we'll see.
True.
The Sivian is triggered. Did someone say trees? I'll chop them down. He's 108 in logging. Like, it's...
Say he's got that going down. I'm only 81 in hunting and skinning.
I am doing everything at the same time, so they're all in the range of like 50s. Nothing's that high up yet. So I'm just like doing a bit of everything right now.
The neatest part about that was doing all this hunting, right? Because I wanted to be able to track the larger animals, right? The bear and such. Leatherworking is just as high as hunting and skinning, because I'm getting all this leather.
Oh yeah, you just refine them and
yep, just skin it. There you go. I'm skinning like 50, 60, 100 at a time.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Man, I was just about to get my tier 3 backpack, but I got disconnected. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. The rugged leather backpack or whatever. There you go. Spanky is 104 in skinning and 92 in mining.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. We got a lot of crafters. Like, so Esteldian is actually playing with us. If you don't remember Esteldian, but if you've been around in DCN, he was one of the original co-hosts of Tales of Tamriel. He's been there way before my time for Tales of Tamriel. He's from UK, so once the Tales started recording in the middle of the night for EU side, he had to drop off. But so we might be bringing him back on this show now as a co-host, because a full circle. Dungeon Crawler Network goes a full circle. We just need to get Ag back on this as well, but he's playing Final Fantasy 14. He's not playing New World.
That's his fault.
Yeah, true. He gave up on the 16th or 17th century aesthetics for anime.
Yeah, dude. I don't like the large swords, but he's gonna do that. Come on, Ag.
So how's your? I think we covered all of the launch week shenanigans. There is one tip that I need to mention for queuing up. This is important. So there is an error called it's something like too many requests exception. There we go. Login services too many requests exception. You might get this error when queuing up. right? When you're in the queue, when you're waiting, this error pops up and it looks like you dropped from the queue. All you have to do is click OK and just wait. Don't press anything. After like a minute or two max, it will put you back into the original position in your queue. So don't queue up again. Don't press play again. If you get this exception, 2-minute request exception, just click OK and leave it be, and your queue will continue from where it left off. This is very important. Do not reset your queues if you get this specific error. Just let it play out. Yeah. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, amazing launch, smooth gameplay, and server stability. It's just that not enough servers to accommodate everyone who's trying to play the game is the basis of it. And there are still a lot of moving stones with the server transfers starting up next week and new servers popping up pretty much all the time. We'll see how the dynamics of the worlds we are playing in will change, but until then, this is how it's playing, and we still have a bit of time. I feel like, right? Are you good to record for like 10-15?
We're good.
Right. So what has been your experience so far? What have you done? Any fancy stuff happened in the server that you're in? Like, what is the situation for you?
So for me, it's just a lot of fun just going back in and doing all the same grinding as before, but realizing it's not going to get wiped, right?
Right, yeah.
Like, I can do this, because the last beta, I'm like, I don't want to do this again, right? I don't want to have to reset it. A lot of fun, absolutely, just to the point where I'm going to start the dungeons, right? But it's just amazingly fun. I think the layout is pretty interesting. A couple things we noticed was, if you're in a situation where like your bison aren't queuing up or whatever, they're not spawning, realize that the animals, not necessarily the monsters, the animals are on the same spawn. They share a spawn.
Oh,
so
okay.
If you're like see a bunch of bison supposed to be running around, but instead there's a bunch of turkeys, they are, by locale, the animals are sharing spawns.
Oh, shoot. Okay,
so if
that's
you look
interesting.
at like particular Fisherman's Bend, right, there's a bunch of turkeys, maybe one bison, maybe two. If there's no bison, kill all the turkeys. And you'll get a random chance you're going to get a bison, right?
Yeah.
So that means they're using shared spawns for the animals.
Which makes sense. Like, that's a really good trick for reducing the load.
Yeah, it is, right? Absolutely.
I like that.
You reduce
I like
the
that
number
a
of
lot.
numbers. So it's interesting. We're messing around. I can't remember who and I were in the guild chat, and we're like, well, he's like, there's no bison. I said, well, okay. If it works like Ark, then just kill all the turkeys and the bison should pop up eventually. And it did.
Imagine you're a turkey just living your casual life, and a bunch of people start murdering your entire, like, existence or flock or whatever, right? Just to get a bison spawn. I'm like, how am I involved in this?
What did I do for this, right?
Oh, that's a great thing to know, though. Like, I had no idea it could have been working that way.
Yeah, I just realized that because I've been playing Ark lately, and it works the same way. I'm like, well, wait a second. If they did that as a way to make it easier on the server, possibly Amazon did the same thing. Sure enough, that's what works.
I like that, yeah. What about PvP? Have you done any PvP or faction
zero
stuff?
PvP, right? Because I'm just about ready to do PvP. I like the spear. The spear is awesome, by the way. But I wish you could have 3 weapons, not just 2.
Yeah.
Because I want to have a hatchet and a spear, but that's okay. I'm going to get good at both. But I want to also bring out the interactive maps out there, right? That work with New World, like newworld-map.com. Phenomenals for finding resources. Because if you're like, well, where is a whatever, right? A bison. Where would they spawn? Or better yet, a goat, right?
Oh, yeah, goats. Freaking goats.
Goats are only available in the level 45 above areas.
Oh, okay. That's why I've never seen a freaking...
you have to go into like Reek water and 58 and up or it's that Brightwood or Ebonscale Reach to get a goat.
Yeah.
So when I tried that in beta, the goat killed me, right? Because it was an overpowered goat. But that's just one of those things. So don't take the goat mission unless you want to go into a high level area. But it's a lot of fun. How about yourself? What have you done?
Well, I've been trying to do a bit of everything. So this is the first time I'm running a guild, company, clan, whatever you want to say, that I have plans for, right? Normally, I mean, I ran community guilds, like for DC and Tales of Tamriel, but we never really were active, we were just there to hang out, right?
Yeah.
So with New World, I'm running the EU company, which I called the Compendium for now, on Alastor, and I want to do... I want us to have a presence in the server. So that's what I've been working towards. We are up to about 25 people, both from people from the community and, friends and then their friends. So we are getting up to a good number. We are for Covenant, we are the third largest company in the game right now on the server, which is scary because we only have 25 people and we are the third largest. So
yeah, there's a lot of small ones.
Yeah.
But that's the way it is in MMOs, right? There's a whole bunch of small ones and then a couple big ones. Depends on what you want to do.
Exactly, yeah. So I do want to have territory control and everything. But as I mentioned earlier, Marauders right now have massive presence in the server that came with a streamer. And they are very high level. We are suspecting kind of I feel like they are... playing on the same account with 2-3 people to never log off, because there's been level 60s running around right now. That's in if that guy has been leveling that by his own, he needs to go to a hospital soon because he cannot be healthy right now. Yeah,
or she needs to sleep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They'll need something soon, but the Syndicate is overpowering as well. Well, not overpowering, but they are sort of matching the Marauder presence, and then there's us, the Covenant. We are sort of the underdogs on the server right now.
There,
However, what I absolutely love about that is the challenge, right? We are really fighting for our existence. We only have one zone, and as we record this podcast, 3 companies and other people from, including ours and other people from the faction, are fighting to save that zone by doing PvP missions right now because we got attacked and Marauder influence went up, and that created sort of this communication and alliance between other companies within Covenant, and I am loving it. So far they are great dudes. From what I've chatted with them on Discord and everything, it's this nice, almost out of necessity, a nice community is forming that we are planning things together. We are making, strategies and things and that part of New World is what I'm in love with. Absolutely. That's why I actually don't want to change server, because even though we are the underdogs in this server, that group of the Covenant alliance that is forming and our communications with them, it's so much fun. So I'm glad we ended up in the least popular faction for our server. At least it's been fun so far. So that's what we've been dealing with. We are organizing PvP missions, events across companies to push influence, clear our own influence, and yeah, a lot of things like that, and it's been so fun. Okay, Sivian says, as a new guild company leader myself, I am wanting more company in-game content. Oh yeah, we need to touch that. I feel that a company storage would be a great add, even if you had to pay for a storage fee and can upgrade
Absolutely.
it. Yes, please. There is so many features missing for companies right now. I can't even edit the ranks or even change the names. Or change permissions. Yeah, it's
definitely. This was we can get to this later type window, right?
Yeah. I expect it to come with the first quality of life update the game gets. They are definitely going to address, in my opinion, the company features that the game. Oh, there we go. So Golik gives me an update. Covenant cleared that influence and took another territory. Yes, there you go. I actually knew that we were going to take the another territory because we've been in touch with the the governor there. So nice. Okay, so we now have 2 zones, while Marauders have 4 and Syndicate has 2. So we are getting up there. You know. Just gotta get our numbers up a little bit more, so then we can declare wars on others and take their territories instead. It's fine.
That's one way to do it.
Yeah. And I learned that you don't have to pay that 100k if you win the wars. That's only for buying an empty territory. And apparently we are already losing a zone. So yeah, I need to log in and see all of this, but I'm 330 in the queue. Well, I'll log in after the show is recorded and maybe edit this out and publish it and things like that. But yeah, overall, long story short, the dynamic of this, almost like the politics of interfaction events and things like that, that's I'm really loving how they are playing out right now. So looking forward to it more.
Absolutely.
Okay, Sivian also says, you also can't add a welcome message that is in the game now. Seems to be a bug at the moment, but to be expected. Okay, so the way to do that is, the problem with that is, your hotkeys are still working when you are trying to type that message. So let's say you are trying to type log, you press O, it opens up your friends list. So
it does, you're right, absolutely.
Yeah. How I did that is, I went into the settings and key bindings. I took out all of the, like the character menu, journal, friends, company, all of those out. I typed in my guild message. I assigned all the key bindings back. That's
a feature. That's not a problem. That's a feature.
So that's how
those types of bugs. They're on people's lists, right? You know they are, and they are. They're the ones who are going to be there for 3 months because they're just not high enough to be a major problem.
Yeah. I mean, when you have 500,000 people trying to log into the game, you are not going to sit down and worry about fixing message of the day. So
oh, absolutely, right. I mean, somebody will. It's important, but it's going to be a while. It's got to be a little bit of time.
So Golik asks, speaking of content and such, I don't know if you talked about it, what do you think of lack of mounts and such? So we have an entire episode, actually, way before the closed beta, that we talked about mounts and sort of like how could they be implemented if they get implemented. There's not going to be mounts anytime soon, unless the map gets massively bigger.
Because right now, the entire thing of that is slowing down the transactions and the movements so that the game will last longer.
Like if you become able to speedily go everywhere, it's going to make the world a lot smaller first, and it's going to change the PvP dynamic a lot. Say you're attacking a fort, right? You get there, everybody gets the fort is under attack notification. It takes time for people to get there right now. But if everybody had like super speed mounts, like in Elder Scrolls Online, it's like you attack the fort, 2 seconds later, there's 55 people on you. It's
yes. Did you notice though, did you see that map in our Discord with regards to the amount of land that's still not used?
Yeah, there are roads that go to nowhere right now. If you especially look towards the northern sides of the map, there are a lot of pathways that are outside of the game area. So it looks like they're definitely going to be increasing the world size eventually. So yeah, we definitely have room for expansion. Also, as for like maps, because we mentioned some maps, so there are a few maps, like complete interactive maps that you can have for New World. One is called mapgenie.io/New World. Another one is, you just mentioned it, what was it? newworld-map.com. And then there's the game-maps.com nw/eternal world map, blah, blah, blah. So if you Google like interactive world map for New World, there's going to be like a lot of interactive maps. And that brings me, actually, I'm gonna mention this. I wasn't gonna mention it, but we got a reply to our last episode, right? Someone got upset So we made a joke. We made a joke last episode. Storms mentioned that he knows a great elk spawn and that he's not going to share it. And we were like, yeah, let's not share it until we do the quest ourselves. And that upset someone, that we are holding back information as such to ourselves. And they were like, these guys are a joke. And Studio Loot is better. You should go watch the New World to Go. First of all, New World to Go, BDLG, and Redburn, absolutely fantastic guys. You should definitely go watch New World to Go. They are great dudes. They are one of the oldest podcasts in the New World community. We are friends with them too. So, but here's the thing: interactive maps and Google, folks. These things
that's where I saw it from.
Everything. Like you can select, for example, disable everything. Just click on elk. And it will literally show you all of the elk spawns in the entire map. So, yeah, we are not holding back information. It's just that there's so more information that we can give you than this map. So it's just go ahead and check the links. I'm in mapgenie.io/newworld. It's there, man.
It's there.
Are they working really on the AFKers who won't log out, making queue times even longer? I don't know if they are actively working on that. I feel like they have a certain system to kind of notice if someone is AFK. Like if you just, for example, keep your character on auto run, I think you still get disconnected. So they may have certain fail saves in place.
Yeah, because I've seen people do that, but I don't think that's going to work.
I don't think there is a legit way of detecting that unless people report, like someone just, for example, for 10 minutes just running at a wall or something. How would you detect someone AFKing to avoid getting disconnected is the problem. Especially with, like, I just mentioned Steam Link.
Their behavior, but you're right.
Yeah, like Steam Link. If someone is auto running to a wall, you can say, okay, they are trying to avoid AFK. But if I have a Steam Link on my phone, and if I'm just pressing random buttons, like I'm casting skills or jumping, it just looks like I'm doing random shit in the town. So how would you detect that? And is it even against TOS? So
I don't know. Have we read the TOS?
Yeah. Like, I mean, it can't be against TOS with Steam Link, so...
I've not read the full TOS, I'll tell you that much.
No one ever reads the full TOS. That's a lie.
Oh, I'm sure there are lawyers that read the full TOS.
Oh, yeah. But, like, average play... I'm not going to hire a lawyer to go through Amazon's TOS to make sure I don't do something. Like, I'll just use common sense and public information to not do something against TOS. Like... Don't gold dupe or don't use an exploit. If there is a bug, report it and don't use it. The basic MMO stuff, you know. But whether if using remote access to my PC to keep playing the game is like where that stays, I don't know. Are they planning on doing something against it? I don't know. Should they? I guess, see, the thing is, I think within a couple of weeks, it's not gonna matter anyway, that they don't even care about it. That's my current theory right now. Because the reason we have these queue times is, first, they really launched with less servers than they needed. They underestimated the amount of players. And second, everyone tried to log in at the same time. And eventually, in like 2 weeks, people are gonna go back to their routines. They're not gonna play every evening or every waking hour. So in a couple of weeks, those AFKers might not even be a problem. So I don't know.
Yeah, that is a hard thing to think about. Put some thought into that one. I mean, there's ways to do it, but you're making assumptions, so you can get yourself in trouble either way.
Yeah. Basically, use common sense. I mean, I don't know. Strange stuff. But again, in 2 weeks, it's not going to be a problem. So
no, I don't think I agree.
Hopefully, I should say hopefully, because who the hell knows? Next thing I know, 2 million more players jumps into New World because they hear like, oh, hey, did you hear New World's queue times are gone? Everything is back to normal now. And everyone jumps into the game and it's like queues again. And it's a loop now. But yeah, so far, the parts I've been in the game, I'm enjoying. That's all I can say.
Did you notice the minor corruption or the corruption? It really starts to tick down when you get in there. And the debate is it didn't tick as fast.
I did not pay attention, no.
I'm in fighting these things, and it's like, 15, 20 seconds, you're halfway through your corruption. And then you take one of the potions, right? So it's not super, it's weird when they do that.
Maybe they increased the rate. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't pay attention at all because I just pop a potion whenever I go through those and just take the damage or, ignore it.
Yeah, I was running around chasing
mentality.
Bison through one of those and forgot about it. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. I got corruption coming along. You better stop. Take a drink there.
So Sivian says, we are not here to keep content from anyone. That is counterproductive from what our goal is. Yep. Was a simple joke. Also, Storms, can you explain some animals being tied to others for respawn? I didn't know that was a thing until the other night.
Yeah,
we just talked about it, but do you like...
We talked about it. We'll let Sivian know anyways, right? We'll recur that. Yeah. In some games, to save memory, to save other resources, right? You have spawns out in the world. The monsters spawn in specific places, specific types of monsters, things like that. And they don't rotate. They don't change. In other ones, game, animals, turkeys, bison, whatever, if they're in the same area, you can use a random spawner. It's not truly random. It rotates around the different ones. And near the Fisher Bend or Fish Bend or whatever it's called, right, where the old guy is for the Azoth staff, the bison and the turkey share the same spawn. So if you're out there and see only turkeys and no bison, that means random chance has spawned more to all these turkeys. Killing the turkeys will then do a random chance to cause bison. So typically then what it looks like is there's a more chance in that particular place to spawn a turkey than a bison. Which is why you'd get a lot more turkeys, right? Same thing in other games when you have them balance out. You're saying, well, I want to have a lot of this smaller whatever, and then one or two of these bigger ones based on the size of the area. Because you don't want to have like 60 bison on the island, right? That's too many bison. But 30 turkeys is no big deal.
Yeah. It's more immersive as well. Yeah, it's just like...
Yeah, it's actually it's a neat idea, and I hadn't even thought about it until whoever said in the guild chat that I can't find any bison. I said, "Well, shoot all the turkeys." Yeah, that worked.
That's such a random thing. I can't find any bison. Yeah, just shoot the turkeys. What? I mean,
shoot the turkeys. Whatever. If you're looking for an animal and there's only the other animal there, shoot the other animal.
I wish I knew that because the other day I was trying to find. I don't remember what it is, but. God, it didn't spawn. I was going crazy.
Well, you have those ones, that one corner, you have the sheep, right? Near the mine. And it takes forever to get these things to spawn. If you kill the wolves, excuse me, if you kill the wolves, it'll also increase the chances of the sheep popping up. But certain ones don't. And even if they do, they might share a spawn spot or spawn area, but not exactly placed where they spawn, right? Yeah. So if you look at the sheep, you look at the wolves, you look at the turkeys up near that mine, right, and near Monarch's Bluff, they all share the same spawn, but they spawn in particular spots. The not the bison, but the elk will spawn. There's 2 elk spawns up there. There's the male and the female, even though they both call them a doe, but they one side of one field, one side of the other field. And then the other one on the other side of the road, there's 2 wolf spawns, 2 turkey spawns, and 2 sheep spawns. They're in slightly different areas, but at least as far as I can tell, they use the same spawn area that does a round robin of who to spawn.
Right. Yeah. That's neat, and that's really helpful. Like when you find yourself in a limbo for certain like non-existence or certain animals, this is gonna come in handy. I wish I knew it yesterday. That would have helped a lot, but from now
we're passing
on,
it around, right?
murder
Now
everything
everybody can
basically. If something is moving, shoot it,
Move it.
slash
Kill
it,
it,
slay
shoot
it. I
it.
don't know. Nothing dies on the
And-
island anyway, okay? This is one place where your conscience can stay clear as you hack away at the wildlife or other players. It's fine. It's
What you need to do as well is you need to remember wait, I just lost it. Sorry.
yeah,
Well,
you
guess I
said you
forgot
need to
what I was supposed
remember and then forgot.
and then forgot it. Yep, there you go. So we'll cover that next time.
So there is something you need to remember, folks, and
Yep.
yeah, you better remember
You
whatever.
need to remember what this is. When you recall it, let me know.
Oh man. So actually something Silent Bob brought up earlier. I'm gonna bring this up in case someone knows a fix for this. The UI of people in our company keeps getting bugged, like the compass stops working and things like that. So far we haven't found anything that fixes it other than relogging, which puts you into a queue. So if anyone who's listening knows a workaround or a way to like reset your compass without relogging into the game, please let us know. Send an email at like dungeoncrawlernetwork@gmail.com and reach out to us on Twitter.
UI. There's got to be a reason.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way.
So far,
good-
we
good
tried
point.
like teleporting, going into a group and exiting and things like that. But so, yeah, nothing has seemed to.
Yeah,
worked.
group. I want to talk about next time. Let's talk about group content, right? Not only the lack, there's some, but not enough, but also group sharing of quests.
Yeah, that would be nice to have.
It doesn't. I'm like, I expected it, right?
Yeah.
Due to other games, I expected it to be that way.
Yeah, I mean the dungeons and everything is nice, but there's definitely a lot of features that are lacking for group play. Yeah, that could definitely be our topic for next week. Lack of features and what can be implemented for like group content into the game. So yeah, that's neat. I'll type it down for next week.
That way you'll remember it.
Yeah. Now I'm really curious what you forgot that we should have remembered.
I'll have to go back and listen. I'll go back and I'll listen to it and I go, oh, this is what I was saying,
Company house as well, yep, as Silent mentioned.
Oh,
Yeah.
housing. We'll definitely talk about housing too. There's some neat features of housing that I was not aware of. So
Yeah, you can get some buffs and stuff from it if you
Yes.
craft trophies, yeah.
And I'm
That's-
trying to figure out not only that, but there's the buffs, but there's also the fast travel.
Yeah, it gives you
does it
one extra
cost-
fast travel.
Does it cost Azoth to do that, or is it the recall?
No, it's the recall actually. It's like
Okay.
but in a different, like it has a separate cooldown, but it's not
Okay.
1 hour like the inn. I think depending on the size of the house or the territory, I don't remember, it's like 4 hours to 2 hours. But if you use
wow.
it with the inn, like you can move around a lot more, so
Yeah. Yeah, I've been sometimes like, oh, I need to do this. And then I go, oh, wait a minute. I got about 5 minutes before I can move.
yeah. Oh, actually, okay, so Civian linked from forums, workarounds for known issues. Unfortunately, Compass is not within one of them, but let's go through these just because. So, unable to hear ambient music on beaches. The issue that's the issue. Shut down the game. Well, as soon as you shut down the game, the whole point
You're
is
in queue.
that's the whole point is not
Are
shutting
you
down
sure
the
you
game.
want to do that?
Okay, so shut down the game, verify game files on Steam, restart the game, reset settings back to default. That's your ambient music on beaches. Not pleasant. Too many request exception.
So
Yeah. Too many request exception error when in queue. As we mentioned earlier, you might get this error while in a queue. You click OK in this error, then do nothing else. It will put you back into the same place in the queue that you were in like a minute or two. So don't panic, press OK, move on. Pressing E does not interact with the environment. Our QA team is currently hunting down the full source of this incredibly frustrating bug, but they did come up with a workaround that has shown some promise. To address your E key not working correctly, close the game. Ah, man. Close the game. Delete the save data folder in app data AGS New World. Copy that string in File Explorer. You basically find your app data and go into AGS in New World. Log back in and play with default key binding, see if it fixes the issue. So yeah, it involves relogging as well. It's not the most pleasant, but if it happens, it's better than not being able to play the game at all. So there you go. I guess that's about it. Do we have anything else we want to talk about? I mean, we are at the hour mark as well, so.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff we can build up to. The more we play it, the more we'll understand.
True, yeah. But yeah, I mean,
I'm telling you what, I get a lot more playing this week, so let's just keep going.
Yeah.
Houses are incredibly expensive too, by the way. That's okay.
Are they? Only 2,500?
Yeah, but if you're using money to do other stuff, the small one, right?
I don't know,
which is the one I'm looking at, and I keep getting about $1,500 or coins, and then I gotta buy something. Right, and nothing is really selling that I'm aware of yet.
I haven't had any issues with money somehow in the game, because it's like I just do quests. I don't do any trading. I buy materials because I'm lazy. I even put money in the guild treasury. I still have money. Like, where is this coming from?
Interesting.
Yeah, I just spam quests. Like, what I do is I go into a town, right? I pick up every quest. Every quest available, PvP, PvE, whatever, town projects, and then I go out and I start a circle basically around the settlement and do them in a circle and go back inside the settlement, and I end up having a lot of gold. Like, so Spanky says that's because you don't really spend anything. What do you mean I don't spend anything? I rarely, like, for the simplest things. For the simplest things, I buy materials and stuff because I can't be bothered to go get them myself. Like, if I'm crafting something and I'm missing, I don't know, 50 iron ingot, I just buy it. If I'm missing coarse leather, I buy it. I don't know, I just buy stuff. So I don't know. Maybe it's because of the amount of quests I spam.
I don't know, it's interesting.
Yeah. I just haven't had a problem with gold yet. Maybe I'll have it in the future.
Well, trying to get to a house. I have gold to get stuff. I just haven't had gold to get a house yet.
Yeah, I'm getting
about 1,500.
Yeah, I'm currently putting all the gold into the treasury because I really want to be ready if and when we get a territory. Because we'll need the money for upgrades. We'll need the money for the war, actually. Well, we'll have to buy like potions, crafting materials, siege weapons, things like that. War is going to be costly, so that's what I'm getting ready for. While Spankinator here, who's my console, is sleeping on his gold. He's being greedy and he doesn't share it with the treasury. He's like, I need to buy golden rings. So, yeah. Okay, well, I guess we can... Oh, he's broke right now. I don't understand how you're broke. I guess we can wrap the show up to not go too much over 1 hour, as we are trying to keep it to an hour tops. Because given the chances, Storms, you know it, I'll record like a 4-hour episode, which will take 8 hours to edit.
Yep.
Yeah. The Storms will go, like, start his day and everything like that. I'll just ramble on and on here, so yeah.
Let's keep talking. There you go.
I'll just talk until next week when you get back on the show, and I'm gonna be like, yep, this is the second episode starting now.
Yeah. There you go. We'll start now. We keep talking.
Yeah. So is there anything else you want to add? Any links you want to mention? Things like that?
Other than the new world dash map, no, I think that's a good one for now. I think we got a lot of stuff covered.
All right, that sounds good. Same here. We'll see you all next week. So, actually, new recording time. We are now recording 8 a.m. Eastern, 2 1 p.m. GMT on Saturdays. That's our new showtime. Sivian and Storms making me very happy with recording during their early morning, so I can record like at a decent time instead of middle of the night. So that's going to be our new recording time, and from now on we are on a schedule. Up until the game's launch, we were like, we are going to record whenever there is news. Well, from now on, we are on a scheduled weekly show. There are news, there are our experience to talk about and everything like that, so we have stuff to talk about. You can find the show on a whole bunch of places. The only ones I track being iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, and YouTube. But it's possibly also on every other place like that does podcatching and snatches RSS feeds. I even get emails like, hey, we put your show on our platform. Do you want to claim your dashboard? I'm like, don't do this to me. Just let it sit there. I don't know. So yeah, and huge thanks to everyone who's been supporting us. We've broke over 2,250 followers on Twitter. We broke over 3,000 listens on the show with just like 10 episodes. Thank you all so very much. And that's only on RSS feeds. There's like the YouTubes and all the places that we don't track. The support has been amazing. We are so happy that you are enjoying the show. And yeah, we are in it for the long run. Love the game, love creating content for it, and hopefully we'll be able to continue doing so. That said, you can follow everything we do over at dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. There you can find links to all of our social media, including Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, and Discord, where you can reach out to us, join our discussions live, watch our gameplay stuff and things like that. You can also check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork if you want to help support the show. However, the rewards there are going to be changing because I no longer do this full time. So I'm not going to be focusing as like trying to monetize it as much. But I really still do appreciate all the support that you give us there financially. I will put all of those back into the show now. Before it was just, getting spent on staying alive. Now it's just gonna go back into the show. So also another thing you can really deeply help us with is leaving us a review on iTunes, so people know that we are a real podcast, that we say real words, and when sometimes finds the show, they see that it's not a fake one and we actually put out shows and we are nice. Thank you all so very much for joining us on this episode of the New World Compendium. I almost said Tales of Tamriel. All habits die hard.
Almost. There you go.
And we will see you all next week. Have a great week, everybody. See you in Eternum.